Okay, let us go through database and we see right here from the start what we have. Now database, that is the same as Microsoft Access. This is what we have to open. Since we are starting a new thing, I can double click on blank database. Then database, when you open it from there, it opens like that. When it opens like that, basically it is raw. There is nothing I've fed in here. What we need is to go to our table. We right click on it, then we look out for design view. We can call it a name that we want. Let me just leave it as table 1. Then that's what it displays. Now this is the gist of database. If anything that you want to move out well for you, we need to be well versed with this part of the table design, or the design view of the table. So what we need to know is the field name. This is where we shall be putting the field names. This you can put as many as you want. You can keep on scrolling down here. There are so many options of adding more depending on the size of your table. Then the data types are also very many, but depending on the type of work you want to do, and also depending on the machine you're using and the software. We have text. Some have text, some have short or long text. They are more or less the same. We can use them interchangeably depending. Number, this one is for text. Here we look at numerical values. Sorry, here we look at text. Yeah. Then for number, we look at numerical values, the integers, 1, 2, 3, those ones. Then a large number, like we're having number, it can be a big figure, but in numerical format. Date or time is the one that you use in case you want to set the given date. Currency, this is money. Automatic number, this is the default one that comes in. You can even see it. This one is the one that shows you, okay, it generates a given number and it keeps on. For example, if you're feeding in people's ID numbers, you're not supposed to type everything. If the code is, say, U00101 and maybe 111, 112, 113, this first number being the same, we can just use auto number and the rest come automatically. We can design it. Yes or no? Yes or no? This one is it's like if something is true or false, we shall use yes or no. You're either female or male. Okay, let us not use that example. Okay, you're either an orphan or not. Yeah, only this one is with objects, hyperlink, if you want to link to other pages or other stuff. Then lookup wizard, depending on what you want to use. Lookup wizard in case there is something that you want to just select and feed in. For example, you feed it in prior, so when it comes to selecting that, you just select it. It can work on maybe data types like male or female, so you don't have to type female, male every time. So every time you meet a male, you just choose. Okay, so this is just a brief introduction. Then down here, field size, new values, increment. Depending on the given data type you have selected, we shall have to edit them from down here. Now let us look at an example. Yeah, so these are the common data field. These ones are the ones that I've been talking about. Boolean, true or false, only object, lookup wizard. Now let me scroll down and see the question, how we can attempt the question. There are different things we shall look at: the table, the queries, the forms, the reports. Most of them are the same. What you need is to understand how to do the table. After designing the table, then the rest are very easy. Maybe we can add in calculations, adding in new fields. Then there is something that you should also need to know about the primary key. Yeah, there is something that you talked about here. Putting a primary key to your field automatically arranges the values fed in. in ascending order. We shall see this. Then a field with a primary key cannot be left without typing. This one is so nagging. If I told you failed to put in a primary key, if you fail to feed in any information, the work will not continue. Query, design, all those ones. I just want us to look at like a simple example. Let us go with this. The table below gives information of students in a secondary school about their registration numbers, name, class, and age, name, house where they reside. So we have a registration number. This is a field name. Name, field name, class is a field name, age is a field name, then house is also a field name. So in case you have to design this table, we go back to our database. This is the design view of the table, and we are going to rename. We are going to make this table just look like the table we have here. It is starting with registration number, reg number, then names, class, age. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it registration number. Then this one, according to that type, this here you can just press OK. According, oh, they don't have that full stop there. According to that type, I see it is in number, so I can just leave it as number. Then after registration number, there is something that is coming next. Names, class, age, house, names, that is of course text. I can use short text. Then class or age. Now class is a mixture of two, so I can use short text, long text, whatever, because it is a mixture. Then age is a number, of course, so I choose number. Then what else did I see? Class, age, then house. When you look at them, they are in text, so I can use your text. Now with my table I'm done. Now let me talk something small about a primary key. A primary key is what you're seeing here. Let me explain what a primary key does. Now a primary key, if you are to put a primary key in a given field, for example registration number, this one is valid. We can put a primary key. Reason being, we don't have any repeated values inside here, so this is valid. This one can be our primary key, and it will organize them in ascending order. Now when you go to names, I advise you not to use names as a primary key, because you can have a person having a similar name, or you might have two people having a similar name. For example, if you're dealing with a big database, so if you have a primary key set for name as a field, it will not work. Class cannot, because you have senior 2, senior 2. Age can't also. House can't, because we are having tesa. So let us go back to our primary key and see what we have. So primary key, since we have said registration number is already having unique values. In case for example we had 00, okay, 01, and again this person put 01 again, don't put this to have a primary key. Reason being, this field and this field, they cannot be uniquely identified by this primary key, or the primary key cannot be put in that particular field, and you cannot go ahead. So for that case, always avoid using a primary key in fields in records that are similar. Now having established this, we are going to go back to the view, or you can right click here. We are done with the other view that we started with, so I can open it. I can open the table. You are telling me you want to first save the table, of course. Yes, I saved it as 1. Now registration number, by default they are starting with 1. Wherever I put number, they are starting with 1, but for us, you know, it starts with 01. Then the name it is now just resembling this. That is Musake. So Musake is our name. Musake. Okay. Then class, we have S215 Mutesa. So that is S2. Age is 15. House is Mutesa. Something like that. So we are done with filling in this person's information. So the person is Musa, and the rest of his information is S2. That's the class, age. Now this is our primary key registration number. Like I said, you cannot leave it empty. That's why by default I put in first for 0. Let me start by feeding information here, and I see if I can proceed. I'm ignoring registration number, which is our primary key. I want to see if it will accept us to go ahead without filling in information in what we call our primary key, which is S214 Mutesa. So we have let me use S. Let me use S2. Let us say is 14. Then let us say Mutesa. Now let me try to go down. I see. Okay. Since they already put for us a value, it is fine. It is accepting. But most of the times it might fail even to go to this next step because I had not typed a value here. So I need to first of all now here there is nothing else I can. This is what I was trying to explain. Now because of the default 0 they have put for me here and here, they are telling me that I cannot edit anywhere else because I have this is set as the primary registration number, but I have a 0 here, I have a 0 here, I have a 0 here. So when I try to click elsewhere, they are telling me the changes you requested to the table were not successful because they would create duplicate values in the index primary key or relationship. Change the data in the field or fields that contain duplicate data. Remove the index or redefine the index to permit duplicate entries. And so yeah, what they are trying to say is you cannot have primary key having 0. Then also here you have a 0. So since this is the active one, I can click on it, but I cannot click elsewhere. This is where database becomes nagging. So what you have to do is first of all make this one different from the previous one, which is a 03. Then now I can come here and make it a 2, so that it will accept. So here let me just put in my names. This one is in, let's say S4. He's a little older, so let me give 17 Mutesa. So it's the Uganda Kings. So this is what we have. Now we can stop it at that, and we see some of the questions that can be asked. So at least for the start, we have learned how to create a table and how to design it. Now the next thing is how we can deal with these following parts: creating a query, creating students' age ranges, and so on and so forth. So for now, I beg to stop there. You can take that as the first lesson. Yeah, we meet in the next one.